Welcome to the Retirement Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Greg Gonzalez. My goal for the podcast is to help you live a better life in retirement by giving you the tools and information you need in a language that you can understand. On this week's episode, I wanted to talk about the 4 reasons I see for not working with a financial advisor. I've met a lot of people, listeners of my podcast, radio show, and also Dave Ramsey fans, because I'm a SmartVestor Pro, and people find me on the SmartVestor website, which is at daveramsey.com. And over the years, I have heard these 4 reasons why people choose not to work with a financial advisor. Personally, I believe everybody deserves good, sound financial advice, but some people don't want to take it, and that's okay. But on today's episode, I thought it would be interesting to go over these 4 reasons for not working with a financial advisor. Now, these are not my reasons. These are reasons that people have told me when I ask them why they don't work with a financial advisor. These are the reasons they give me. I would much rather see someone personally work with a trusted financial advisor, but I also understand that there are many talented and capable people out there who can do a lot of solid planning on their own. Before we get into today's topic, I wanted to remind listeners to check out our website, which is retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. That's retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. While you're there, you can shoot me a message, send me a note, or you can check out our free resources, such as our 2020 tax planning guide or my retirement secret sauce. You can find those both on the website for free. You can also submit any listener questions. I'm always happy to answer any questions and typically get back with you right away. Okay, so on today's episode, let's talk about the 4 reasons that people have for not working with a financial advisor. So, reason number 1, and this is the most popular reason that people have for not working, for not hiring a financial advisor, which is kind of like a partnership. You're on the same team. I always tell people the financial advisor should be the CFO and you should be the CEO. But for those people that want to be both the CEO and the CFO and not hire a financial advisor, the number 1 reason I see for them not hiring a financial advisor, or the reason that I'm being told that they choose not to work with an advisor, is because it's a hobby of theirs. Maybe they like to go to the library and do their own research and do their own investment management and do their own planning, Social Security planning and estate planning. And they try, I know there's a revolution out there of the DIY, do it yourself. And there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. We are in the information age. You can find more information online. It's incredible the amount of information you can find on YouTube. You can Google information. There's tons and tons of articles. It's information overload. But you've got to remember, information is not wisdom. So make sure you have a firm understanding of what you're doing before you implement your plan. That's the best advice I can give people. There's a lot of investing hobbyists out there, people who want to manage their own money, their own portfolio, and that's perfectly cool. There's some people that do incredibly well managing their own funds and doing their own retirement planning. Maybe they enjoy every Saturday going to the library and reading Money Magazine or Kiplinger's or any of these sources out there. Maybe they browse the internet on the newest trends and they do their own planning, maybe with software online. You see this a lot with car enthusiasts. There's a lot of car enthusiasts that like to change their own oil, that like to wax their own car and detail their own car. And there may be a mechanic that can work on that car better than that man or woman, but that's their hobby. That's what brings joy and fulfillment to their life. So if you're one of those people, I would probably suggest keep doing your own planning, keep doing your own investments and portfolio management. If that's your hobby and that's what gives you a kick in life, I would tell you to stay with it. My neighbor, for example, he loves changing his own oil and he's always working on his car. If I need my oil changed or my tires rotated or any service on my vehicle, I'm taking it to the mechanic. It's not my hobby and I don't enjoy working on a car. But there's plenty of people out there who enjoy working on the car. They enjoy the process, just like there's do-it-yourself investors out there who want to do their own financial planning. And that's totally fine. So that's the number one reason that I see that people choose not to work with a financial advisor. It's just because it gives them so much satisfaction as a hobby that they have. The number two reason that I have heard people choose not to work with a financial advisor is the cost. There are people out there that refuse to pay the cost of a financial advisor, which may be an advisory fee, it may be an hourly fee, whatever the case may be, the advisor is going to have to be compensated somehow. And there's some people out there that just don't want to pay for that advice. It's kind of like the people that want to do their own taxes, because if they went to a CPA or an accounting office to have their taxes done, it might cost them a few $100s or several $100s. But if they can do it on H&R Block online or TurboTax, it may just cost them $50, $100, something like that. So again, there's people that don't want to pay for the cost of advice that a financial advisor can provide. They want to keep their expenses as low as possible. And a lot of these people may invest in things that have very low expenses, like maybe index funds or maybe stocks. They may purchase stocks or bonds that may not have an annual fee associated with them. There's many brokerage firms to choose from that are very low cost these days. And these types of people like to invest with those low cost providers. So if the cost of getting good financial advice is holding you back, then you might be in that camp of people that want to pay as little costs or expenses as possible. And that's okay. There's plenty of options for you. The next reason that I have heard from people that don't work with a financial advisor is that they just can't trust anyone else with their money, with their life savings. I spoke with one physician one time, and he said he had a bad business deal where his business partner embezzled money from their business, and it ruined him financially. They went to court over it, and when it was all said and done, he never really got made whole again. So what he said was, as a result of that incident, he could never trust another individual with his financial affairs. So he didn't want to hire a financial advisor because he just couldn't put his full trust in another person. He was always going to think, is this person stealing from me? Or is this person going to be a Bernie Madoff? And I've heard this from a few individuals over the year that they just have a hard time trusting other people, and especially strangers, to be their financial advocate or their family's financial advocate. And typically these people, they find it hard to delegate their financial oversight. And it all boils down to trust, that they don't trust another individual to do a good job for them. And if you're one of those people, or you know someone who's one of those people, I would have to agree that it's probably not a good idea to work with a financial advisor who you can't trust. Or if you're working with a financial advisor who you don't trust, maybe find a independent fiduciary financial advisor who's going to have your best interest at heart. I would also recommend checking your financial advisor's background, which you can do by going to brokercheck.finra.org. Again, that's brokercheck.finra.org. There you can type in the person's name, their zip code, and you can see if they've had any complaints, if they've had any lawsuits that have been filed against them. You can see how many years they've been licensed. So that's kind of nice that you can check their background and see what they've been up to. So brokercheck.finra.org is the name of that website, and then there you can type in the person's name. The last reason that I hear that people choose not to work with a financial advisor is that they feel they don't have enough money. I had a gentleman call me up that was trying to work with his brother's financial advisor in California, in San Diego, California, and his brother's advisor said that he only worked with people with $10 million and above. This financial advisor happened to work with a lot of endowments and nonprofits and corporations. And so when this gentleman contacted me, he was under the impression that working with a financial advisor was only for the wealthy. And that's just not the case anymore. People that come from modest means can get great financial advice, just like the people that have tens of millions of dollars can get financial advice. There are plenty of advisors out there that will work with someone who's just getting started or doesn't maybe have $1 million to invest. So if you're one of those people that thinks that working with a financial advisor is only for the super, super wealthy, I gotta tell you, you're dead wrong. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody's retirement plan is different. Everybody has a different level of resources than another person. And there are plenty of competent, qualified advisors out there that can help you. With that being said, there's other advisors out there, like that gentleman in California that I mentioned, that may have a minimum asset requirement. So in his case, it was $10 million was his asset requirement to work with him, but he kind of specialized in nonprofits and endowments and corporations. He was probably not working with the average retired investment out there, or maybe pre-retired investor out there. And that's the neat thing about financial advisors is we can specialize in serving whatever markets that we want. So that advisor could specialize in working with nonprofits and also corporations that had at least $10 million to invest with him. And that's okay. There are other advisors out there who focus on the millennial population. They want to help the millennial generation get started with investing. Maybe those millennials that are entering the workforce and need a lot of help paying off student loan debt, buying their first house, and getting started the right way. And then there are plenty of financial advisors like myself that focus on working with clients that are 50 years old and older that need help in the transition to and through retirement. And that's our main focus. So what people need to understand is that all advisors are not the same. They have different areas of focus, so to speak. Just like there are specialists when it comes to physicians. My general practitioner normally will refer me to a dermatologist, so to speak, or maybe a neurologist. Your general practitioner does not do heart surgery. He or she probably won't deliver your wife's baby. But if you have the flu, you came to the right place. So the idea of choosing not to work with a financial advisor because you think that you don't have enough assets to make it worth their while is just not true. Find an advisor that specializes in what you're looking for help with, whether it's retirement planning, college planning for your children or grandchildren, maybe estate planning, or whatever the case may be. And yes, if it makes you more comfortable, you can ask the advisor ahead of time if the assets that you have meet their minimum, so to speak, or if they do business with people that have your level of assets. I would say 90% of the time, they will probably say yes, or if not, they will have an advisor in their office that can work with you. But I just think to live your whole life and not get financial advice from a professional because you think you're too small of a fish, so to speak, is just nonsense. There are plenty of advisors out there that would love to have you as a client. I hope today's episode has been helpful for you. These are the top 4 reasons I have heard for not working with a financial advisor. I didn't come up with them. People have just told me these 4 reasons over the years. And I will state, in my opinion, not everybody is well suited to work with a financial advisor. If you can't trust them, it's probably not a good idea to work with one. If it's your hobby and you love the idea of doing the planning and investing on your own, and you don't want to turn those responsibilities over to another person, then by all means, continue doing what you're doing. Maybe study to become a certified financial planner. That might be kind of fun for you. Go to cfp.net. You can become your own certified financial planner, just like I am. As far as the cost of working with a financial advisor, generally speaking, in my opinion, it's fairly reasonable to pay a financial advisor for their advice and their ongoing support and advocacy. I once heard a financial advisor say, if you think the cost of a financial advisor is expensive, but I also realize that there are some people that don't want to pay for professional advice. They don't want to pay an accountant for their tax expertise and their tax planning help. And I get that. So I'm not telling those people to all run out and hire a certified public accountant, just like I wouldn't tell those same people to hire a financial advisor when they really don't want to pay for the service to begin with. I had fun this week. I hope you did as well. Again, I'll remind listeners to check out our website, which is retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. That's retirementmadeeasypodcast.com. There you can check out our 2020 tax planning guide, as well as my retirement secret sauce. I'd also love to hear from you. You can send me a message or an email there at the website. I will catch you next week for another episode of the Retirement Made Easy podcast. Until then, remember, always dream big. The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, please consult your attorney, tax advisor, or financial advisor prior to investing. This is a hypothetical example and is not representative of any specific investment. Your results may vary. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices mentioned are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The SmartVestor program is a directory of investment professionals. Neither Dave Ramsey nor SmartVestor are affiliates of St. Louis Retirement Advisors or LPL Financial. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. All investing involves risk, including loss of principal. No strategy assures success or protects against loss. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.